did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
That's right, man. That's right. The Lord commanded us to take down these nations, man. But what our people do? They attach themselves to them, man. They start learning their ways. They start marrying their wives and marrying off their daughters, man.
Hey, bro, can I say something going back to that definition? Could you read it again, bro? With the Hellenists there? Hellenists? Because this started when the Greeks came into power. That's when the Hellenista or the Hellenists period started to start amongst our people. When you had civil war over the high priesthood, which I've been tripping off how it's always been civil war over the high priesthood and the leaders, starting from the time of Exodus, man. Dealing with Korah, Dathan versus Moses and Aaron and stuff like that, man. You always had this civil war, and that's when the Hellenist period started. You read it again, bro?
God. Hellenists, Jews who made Greek their tongue and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices.
They adopted Greek ideas and practices. Now you had this guy, you had this righteous man named Onias III, right? He had a brother named Jason. His brother Jason, when he came into the high priesthood, what he did, he wanted to please the king, which was Antiochus IV, right? So this guy, he went as far as adopting the customs and practices of the Greek nation, man. That's when you start getting into the gym, and that's when you start getting to eating the pork and everything that's contrary to the scriptures, man. And that's when you start getting jakes that started becoming Hellenized, right? So you had after this guy Jason, right, the high priesthood, you had this right hand man named Menelaus. He came in next, and he did worse than Jason. So he further brought our people into being Greeks, man. Further. And then guess who you had after you had Menelaus? Guess who you had? You had a guy named Alchemist that came in, and he did even worse, man. So about time you had these wicked high priests coming in, you had our people already thinking they was Greeks, man. You had the new generation that was coming in thinking they was Greeks, man. All because of these niggas that wanted the high priesthood, and they was going as far as pleasing the Edomite Greek kings, going as far as pleasing them so that they could have the high priesthood, and they was adopting all them practices into our nation, man. So you started getting Helen, you started getting Jake that was Jake, but they thought they was Greeks. Then the Greek Empire transferred into the Roman Empire. Now you got generations of that shit, you know. After generation, you got Jake that knew that they was practicing Greek customs, that knew that it was Israelites, and you got Jakes that didn't know that they was Israelites and was straight practicing Greek customs.
It's like the Moors over there in Europe, man. The Moors, the Muslims, the Christians, they was all Israelites, but they were warring with each other to push their agenda, so to speak. Right here, he implemented all that paganism into that Christian, the church. That all the people worshiping all these pagan holidays.
Yeah, it's due to the fact that they want to please the heathen.
Yeah.
The scripture saying, Jeremiah, why trimmest thou thy ways? You know, why trimmest thou thy ways, man? The Lord is all you need.
That's right.
See, a nigga he want to run things how he want to do it. So the only way he can do that is by going to the heathen, man. You know?
Hey, that was hey, shit, man. That's why they wanted a king over there. Yeah, just like the heathen, man. Go ahead, bro.
I got more proof. This is the book from Babylon and Timbuktu, page 83. On the passage it says the north African black Jews. On the third paragraph it says, when Antiochus IV absorbed the throne in Syria, 175 BC to 163 BC, he entertained the thought of uniting Alexander's empire. This meant the conquest of Egypt. However, the province that bordered on Egypt was Palestine, which stood in his way.
Hey, understand that when this guy Antiochus Epiphanes, I don't know who he is, but this guy is a top dude. Hey, get that sign there, bro. This guy is amongst these dudes right here. He's one of them in a reincarnation. What is these guys playing a plot right now is to bring a new world order. So when Antiochus Epiphanes came in the scene, he had that same mind. even back then during the time of the Greeks, man. All right? Go ahead and read it again, Doc.
From the top? When Antiochus IV usurped the throne in Syria, 175 BC to 163 BC, he entertained the thought of uniting Alexander's empire. This meant the conquest of Egypt.
And you got to understand, at the time, this guy Antiochus IV, he thought that he was God manifest. Yep. He thought he was Jupiter that came down in the flesh. So he thought he was God. He thought everybody should be under him because he's God, man. You know? So it's not far-fetched that he entertained the thought that everybody should be of one mind. Go ahead, Doc.
It says, this meant the conquest of Egypt. However, the province that bordered on Egypt was Palestine, which stood in his way. At this time, the Jews would not accept Greek culture. Nevertheless, Antiochus was determined to Hellenize the Jews.
See, and the Jews, when they accepted, was what? What term was it? It's the Maccabean revolt. That's what that didn't want to accept it. That's why you had a lot during that time. You had women who circumcised their child. You know what Antiochus had done to them? He pushed them off a cliff, bro, with the child. That's recorded in 2 Maccabees. They circumcised their children, pushed them off the damn cliff. Because he was trying to bring everybody together, but then you had the Jews that feared the Lord. Then when you go into 2 Maccabees 7, that's when you had the 7 brothers who got killed for the Lord.
It says the army of Antiochus marched into Palestine to support Menelaus, the leader of the pro-Syrian party. As a result, many Jews were killed.
Yeah.
Others escaped to the hills and to Egypt.
Menelaus is the dude who came after Jason, the high priest, who was wicked. He was aided by, he was a puppet of Antiochus to keep the Jews where Antiochus wanted them, right? So this guy Menelaus was a guide for Antiochus IV in coming in there to destroy the land. Wicked nigga, man. Tom nigga, man. And you know what? Guess who that is today? Guess who Menelaus spiritually are today? That's your Shikari, that's your Nate Satan, that's your General Fat Ass. That's all them, bro. They war, and you know what it is today? Guess what? It's civil war over the high priesthood today. Yep. But guess what? Just like in Onias III was set up by the Lord, the elders, the apostles, the great millstone was set up by the Lord. So you guys civil war you want, the right leaders is here, man. Go ahead,
It says only those Jews that supported Antiochus' policies remained in Jerusalem. An edict was promulgated interdicting the observance of the holidays, the Sabbath, and circumcision.
Hey, guess what them niggas were? That was adopting Antiochus' custom. Guess what they was called? They were called Antiochians. I got a piece of that. Go ahead,
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11.
Hey, nigga, like, fuck, I ain't from the tribe of Judah, I'm an Antiochian. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, hear it just like a nigga, I ain't no Israelite, I'm an American. You know? Go ahead,
I'm gonna start at verse 10. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 10.
Hey, Slack it, bro, I'm gonna hand it right back to you.
Nah, go ahead, bro. Hey, it's history, bro.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137 year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Hey, I explained this during the live show. During that time, you had Antiochus III. His title on him was the Great, because this guy was on some conquering shit, man. So that's how he got the title, the Great, upon him. But he was starting to lose. He was losing. As he got older, as he was getting older, he started losing. So he started losing to the Persians. I forget the king that he lost to, the Romans, the Romans. Right, during this time you had the Romans, which were they was the Japhites, dark skin. He was losing to them. So he lost so bad to where they had to make a peace treaty, the peace treaty of Apamea. That's what the treaty was called, when he had to give up 30 hostages and rotate these hostages from coming to Rome. And one of them hostages was Antiochus IV, which was his son. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Antiochus IV couldn't be rotated. They made sure that Antiochus IV stayed there the whole time. So that's why the scriptures say he was a hostage in Rome. Go ahead,
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Starting with Jason. Jason, the brother of Onias III. That was the nigga that kick-started it, man. Go ahead,
That are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Yeah.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king.
Now, during this time you had Antiochus IV, right? He was trying to conquer the Ptolemy Empire. And what he did with the Ptolemy, he put a puppet. He was the man. He was one of the line of Ptolemy. He put a puppet in there of one of the Ptolemies, and he had Egypt being ran how he wanted it to be ran off of that puppet, man. The same thing with when he seen he could do that upon Jerusalem. He was like, oh, I could use this dude, Jason. Oh yeah, let me throw him in there. And that's what you know, spiritual. That's what today. That's today. Over there in Venezuela with the president, I forget the president's name, but that motherfucker's a puppet, man. And a lot of what's going over there, what's that dude that went to support Gaddafi?
Same playbook.
Same playbook, same Edomites doing the same thing, man.
That's what they want to do in Syria.
Yeah? Hey, you got something to toss?
Oh no, I'm green. Everything.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
Now the Asadians, right? The Asadians or the Asadians, they didn't conform to what this nigga Jason and the wicked Israelites was doing, man. The scriptures say, follow not a multitude to do evil. Right. So that's where you started getting the Asadians at, or the Maccabean revolt, man. Guys who was like, man, fuck this, man. Fuck this nigga Antiochus, man. We gonna die for our laws. That was what they quoted in the Maccabees.
That's right.
They said they're gonna die for the laws of their father, man.
That's right.
Then when the brothers making like a covenant with the Romans, the letters from Romans, Jonathan, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I want to go back to this.
What book is that right there?
From Babylon and Timbuktu.
Okay.
It says, page 83, it says, a statue of Jupiter was erected in the holy temple above the altar. To this statue, the people brought the sacrifices of pig meat, the animal which is an abomination to the Jews. Because of this religious persecution, the legitimate high priest Onias III and many other Jews fled into Africa countries such as Egypt, Ethiopia, and Cyrenaica, Libya. Throughout the last 2,500 years, the main factor that